Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, Friend, Beloved God, great masters of Kriya Yoga, Jesus Christ, Babaji, Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar Ji, our beloved Guru Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, saints of all religions, our friend and guide, Swami Kriyananda Ji, we humbly bow before you all, thanking you for all the blessings you have brought in our lives, the gift of the teachings. Help us apply these teachings, especially through today's class, to overcome hypertension, nervousness, to change our lifestyle, that we may find greater health in body, mind, and spirit. Om. And let's meditate just for a minute or so. You can tense your body with a double breath. Breathe out and relax. 2 more times. 1 last time. Let's meditate for 2 minutes. Om. 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 Om Shanti. Welcome once again, everybody. So last week we had gone through the subject of what is hypertension, high blood pressure, how does it happen, what are the common risk factors for it. Some are genetic, most fortunately, unfortunately are related to lifestyle, but I said fortunately because today we will see, and I had mentioned this statistic last time, that up to 90% cases of hypertension can be managed by working on our lifestyle. And this is really, a very important thing to see because, I mentioned 2 or 3 adults over the age of 50 will have hypertension. This is a statistic that is coming from different nations. And by the way, as I'm presenting these classes, especially this one on hypertension, I have borrowed knowledge from American Heart Association, from cardiologists and leading authors on this subject, medical doctors from India, but then also from, Australia, New Zealand. I follow some of the pages over there of heart associations. So that's the good news, that, okay, it has come. Now, what shall we do about it? So today's subject is more on those lines, that we find ourselves, and again, I won't go in the details. I don't want to make this a medical lecture, but to classify mild, moderate, high blood pressure and such. But you can look up, and one should look up these things online, and you can see that on one level, I mentioned last time, diabetes and hypertension are called silent killers. And take that very seriously, friends. Unmanaged, it can reduce one's lifespan by 10 years or so, depending on how high your blood pressure is. And So on one level, these are serious things. It leads to, I had mentioned last time, eye complications, kidney transplants. It's one of the leading causes for the need for kidneys and such. On the other hand, the good news is it can be managed more or less by our lifestyle and meditation practices. So let's go into that subject today. I'll request Nayaswami Bhavani. I've prepared a PowerPoint. And to make these points easy to remember, you can go back to these slides also over here. And let's see bit by bit how we can manage this. So we'll go to the next slide, which is our topic today. Now, this is really easy, avoid smoking, alcohol, and usually we come on the spiritual path. These are not challenges for most people, but for some, this is a crippling factor. At other times, people may say, I had mentioned last time, oh, I don't drink, I don't smoke all that much. And drinking, I've heard it's good for our heart and such. Get your facts right. Last 10 years, it has come, very clearly, alcohol in no amount is good for the body. I had mentioned that. I won't go in the detail. Maybe someday I'll take a class on that subject alone. But reduce the body weight. Now, this is really good. If, let's say, somebody has hypertension and they are able to knock off 10 kgs from their body weight through exercise, diet, and such, it has been found that what is called systolic, the higher measurement of blood pressure, there's systolic and diastolic, they go down by up to 12 counts on the higher one and 8 counts on the lower, on the diastolic. That is huge. Anyways, if we lose weight, it's good. Again, it's a subject in itself. Many cancers are caused, unfortunately. They have a direct link with obesity. Joint health is directly linked to our body weight. So again, the good news is, well, you have hypertension, no problem. Let's try to reduce some body weight. And if you're thinking of something like 10 kgs, you can easily give yourself 6 months. That's not a hard target. And you'll see that. And what is the correlation? Well, the larger our body, the more the tissues that we have, the greater the heart has to work on a very simple level that makes the heart work more. Now, the next subject is how can we, point we are seeing over here, by regular exercise and strength training. And again, I'll present in the next slide some details, but now these are two different things. And in regular exercise, fortunately, the common things are there, like walking. And if you can't do brisk walking, okay, try to do it for at least 10-15 minutes in the entire walk at some point, maybe after your body has warmed up. Or for those of us who follow Yogananda ji's teachings, you can increase energization exercises. Or one of the exercises in energization is walking in place, running in place. Master said, he said, normally we do these, 10 to 15 counts, sometimes 40 counts for walking and running. He said, you can do it 400 times. So see what is your need. And but again, please build up gradually. We want us to be comfortable as we are doing these exercises. And I want to say a little thing about strength training because, again, it is not directly the teachings, you might say, of Kriya Yoga and such. But on the other hand, remember when somebody asked Paramhansa Yogananda ji, what kind of diet do you recommend? And he said, I am a proper Etarian. And that's what I would recommend to people. He could have easily, he knew all about diet. He wrote so many beautiful teachings about it in great detail, which are now scientifically proven. But when answering that question, he simply said proper. I'm a proper Etarian, which is to say, as we develop awareness of our own bodies, we know what is the right thing for us to eat. And in this case, for some people, strength training might be good. Maybe your body responds very nicely if you do Hatha Yoga, for example, which is also one of the things mentioned. And there is a particular benefit that comes from strength training. And again, don't think of very heavy dumbbells and weights. Mild, I've sometimes trained with 3 kilo, 5 kilo weights or 2 kgs when I just don't feel like doing anything else. I have these little dumbbells at home. So keep that in mind. Now, when we do strength training, it especially directly works on the what is called the bad cholesterol, LDL. That has been found to go down by doing strength training. When we do regular exercise, like walking and such, running, swimming, Even extensive gardening, if you're somebody who breaks the sweat during gardening, that's excellent. Just keep that up, do more of that. Other things can remain mild or moderate. Okay, we'll go to the previous slide. A balanced diet, and I'll cover that again in a few slides. A good sleep, even one day, if we don't sleep well, sometimes you can note, not only is it hard to focus the mind and, not be irritable and such, but it has a direct relation with high blood pressure. So please do not sacrifice on that and try to do, if you skip it, catch up on other times. Massage therapies. Now, this, I want to just say a word over here. So many times when you think of a massage, you're like, oh, I'll have to go to a vacation, go on vacation, go to a spa. Who's going to give me a massage? I cannot hire 4 people for that. Well, hire your own hands. I've really tried this and I've recommended this to people, many people who had stress and joint aches, muscle pains, and this is now scientifically proven therapy. End of the day, spend 10-15 minutes with yourself. Just little joint massage here, a scalp massage over there, massaging, rubbing the, soles of the feet. Wherever you feel your body, it's like you're talking to your body at the end of the day, and give it some rest. Of course, it increases the blood flow, lymphatic flow. You're bringing prana. On a spiritual level, Yogananda ji said our fingertips are representative of the chakras in the spine. They have high energy centers on the fingertips. And Master recommended that we massage. He spoke mostly for the scalp, and he said, feel that you're mixing energy and life force with your fingers when you're massaging the scalp. Well, we can apply that to any other body part also. So we'll move ahead now to the next slide. Yeah, so by and large, now, one moment, sister. By and large, let's go back to the previous one. By and large, now research oriented, like I said, HDL more comes from exercise, LDL comes more from strength training, but I have clubbed all these benefits more or less, in one setting. Now, look at the last line. Regular exercise has been shown to work as good as one antihypertensive medication. So again, here or whoever will watch the recordings, if you are on one tablet, and I know many friends, my own mom, she's good with exercise. Later, when she brought in meditation, her blood pressure came down. I know another person, when they started fasting, and especially did Yogananda ji's 9-day fast, their blood pressure was managed and stayed normotensive or at the normal level for a very, very long time. We have to always complement these things with long-term lifestyle changes also. But regular exercise is as good as one tablet. So last time I was mentioning many of these illnesses, lifestyle diseases are reversible. Let's move ahead to the other slide. Okay. Now, these are some things to keep in mind, that these are the 3 main, you might say, minerals, salts, potassium, calcium, and magnesium that you want in your diet, because they have an interplay in the cellular level and on how much water is retained in the body, and which then affects the blood pressure level. So how do we make sure we get enough of those? On a general level, try to do whole grains. Brown rice comes to mind right away. The moment that outer covering is polished, many of these minerals and beneficial salts and the right composition is gone. Yogananda ji used to say that Mother Nature cooks the fruits and vegetables and grains on the plant itself. That's step 1 of cooking. The sun is there, salts are there, sugars are there, water is there, and the food. That's why we say this fruit or food is ripe now for harvesting. So it has been done on one level. Then we do the next level to, of course, make it more palatable. Vegetables, again, raw, semi-cooked, steamed, and then I would add boiled. Because when we boil, for example, potatoes have a lot of potassium. That is good for people who have hypertension. They need that. But if you boil a potato versus steam it, the difference of potassium levels is 30%. Now, boiling is essential sometimes, but not always. So make sure that in your kitchen, you prioritize how you're working with vegetables and such. Increased fiber intake, and finally, pulses, which is all dals, nuts, and seeds. Now, seeds are something we could include more in our diet at breakfast and such. Sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, and others. Because again, remember, a seed has the power to bring forth an entire plant. So a lot of nutrients are packed in that tiny little seed. So don't go by size. And scientifically also, if you're interested, you can research which seeds will be good for hypertension, but generally include them in your diet. And finally, that last line over here, very important. Reduce your salt intake, and that is again equivalent to one antihypertensive tablet. How much salt should we take? People have generally asked. 1/4 of a teaspoon. The other things come little bit with the processed food and other items. Now, many times people say, well, if I won't have salt, I don't feel the taste. It's okay for 2 weeks. You won't feel the normal level of taste only for 2 weeks. In those 2 weeks, the body readjusts. I remember I came from Yogananda ji's 9-day diet once. I had a normal thali. I couldn't believe why somebody had thrown 4 times the salt in there. And so I checked with other people. I said, how's your food? They said, ours is fine. I said, mine has too much salt. And I checked theirs. Everything was so salty. But because we were used to that level, we didn't feel it. But after I came down from that 9-day diet where no salt is allowed, I suddenly felt that somebody had made a terrible mistake by adding a lot of salt. So we all can do 1 or 2 weeks of austerity, and then the body and the taste buds reset themselves. Let's go to the last few slides. Okay, stress. Now, stress increases our blood pressure temporarily. So many times scientists will say, oh, this is not really a cause. More and more people are saying it is a cause, even from the scientific community, because imagine you have sustained stress because of health, finances, relationships, or whatever. There can be so many causes. So small increments of blood pressure, sugar in the blood, which is released during stress, all these stress hormones that are released, the attitudes that come with too much stress. People sometimes become hopeless. They lose optimism. Now, that is a scientific study in the last line. Those who have attitudes of pessimism, negativity, hopelessness, blood pressure has been found, high blood pressure has been found 3 times more. So come the qualities of managing your stress and all this beautiful list over here. Look at point number 4, for example, affirmations. For a positive mental attitude, pranayam, even count breathing, triangular breathing, alternate nostril breathing, full yogic breath. My goodness, Yogananda ji has given us so many. Double breath, meditation, of course. Heart rate goes down, breath rate goes down during meditation. Sister, one moment. Previous slide. Hatha yoga over here. Then now finally, last point over here, soft speech. Now that's not a general recommendation. It has been, again, this is a scientific study. Let's say you have to say something very important. Maybe I should practice it right now. Say that also softly. And they have found it. Now it's difficult. People say, oh my God, I'm not emphasizing enough. But if you say everything softly, it is directly linked to your blood pressure in real time. So again, a very nice spiritual teaching as well as practical benefit. And finally, we'll go to the last slide here. This again is a study. Have you been on a phone call for 30 minutes with somebody? Very rarely I have been. And because this study was about 30-minute phone calls, blood pressure rises in those 30 minutes. So keep phone calls to the minimum, phone interaction to the minimum, and healthy human interaction with one another. I hope you found these points beneficial. Now, let's close our session on health today and move into healing prayers by first offering a healing prayer for the world. Let us see the light of God shining in all hearts, minds around the world. May we draw upon that light through meditation, through service, through our spiritual efforts, through our efforts to change our lifestyles and make them healthy that the light of God may heal us in body, mind, and spirit. Let's rub our hands together, send these blessings out into the world. Om. 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 Om Shanti.